I think Poland is extremely fortunate with its geographical location. If you believe that the period when the tribes of Europe regularly went to war with each other, if you believe that is over, and I believe it is over, maybe still in the Balkans, but not in Northwest Europe. To be a close neighbor of Germany, the strongest economy in Europe, to be a close neighbor of Russia, which is a huge market. It may not be very strong at the moment, but it has got huge potential. To be on the coast of the Baltic, so with sea access, it's extremely fortunate. The geographical location of Poland is perfect. If you compare that with Spain, which is a country of roughly the same size, population, but it's isolated on the fringes of Europe. To reach the German market, Spanish goods have to transit through various countries, whereas the Polish market, the Polish manufacturer has got a huge market right next door. So from that point of view, Poland is lucky. Luckier than many other European countries. The fact that we aren't yet a fully fledged party political democracy is surely easy to understand. It takes years to develop these sort of structures. And I would argue that the structures are more or less developed. The political parties which are more or less in charge now, the Platforma Obywatelstwa, PO and PIS, Prawo I Sprawiedliwość, are strong parties. So is the Agrarian Party. These are quite strong parties, and they are, I think, organized on party lines. So I wouldn't be so pessimistic. I would be happy if Solidarity became a trade union movement and not a political party. I think that wearing those two hats at the same time is very difficult. I think Poland is what you might call unfinished business. It has a lot of things it needs to do still in order to improve the workings of civil society. People brought up over 50 years of communism, however anti-communist they may have been, are inevitably affected in their way of thinking. So it will take time. We have a new generation that is not yet completely in charge, but is beginning to be in charge, who did not live through those periods of indoctrination. The other thing that I find remarkable about Poland is that it's been so successful not because of its governments, but despite its governments. It has managed its economy through unpopular policies promoted by people like Balcerowicz, who was hated by nearly everybody. But if today the Polish economy is growing and the Polish zloty is a valuable currency, and there is a sense of optimism, economical optimism in Poland, it is thanks to the policies of this rather dictatorial Balcerowicz, who knew that he had to do certain things that people would hate. But he did them, and he had the courage to do them. So I am not pessimistic about Poland. It survives despite the governments, and survives very, very well. And it has these huge geographical advantages. Plus, it has very, very rich agricultural land, which is becoming more and more important in a world where there's a shortage of food. It may not be very modern in its agriculture or very productive, but that can be put right. What is still very strong in Poland is family solidarity, which has dwindled in many other countries of Europe, especially in England. The other thing is the Poles are very ready to emigrate for a time. They don't want to emigrate forever, but they will go away and work somewhere for 5 years and come back. And I have met many of these, and they are loyal Poles, but they collect their money elsewhere, and they send it, the lady here, they send it back to the country. And they keep family alive, they invest, they buy land or property through sheer hard work. I'm not at all pessimistic. Poles are wonderful at being pessimistic. Oh, how ghastly everything is, far worse than it was last year. Nonsense. The rest of Europe is on its knees. Poland is still at 3% growth. It's magic. So when you're outside, I always say to the Poles, I see you the way people see my children, who only see them every 6 months. Oh, they say, how you have grown, whereas I don't notice them growing. And when I first went to Poland in the 60s, God, it was awful. I go there now, it's completely changed. I mean, it's so transformed. And I think it's a country that has a lot of young people in it. And you have this wonderful opportunity now to build on what your parents did for you, which is to get rid of the Iron Curtain, to get rid of the communist mentality, and you have the opportunity to build on that. You're already doing it to a great extent, and I would encourage you to be optimistic and to look forward and not look back. I would say tackle the problem of private property, because that will remove a stain which remains on your character in the eyes of the world.